Mr. Boaty. Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Well, of course it is, George. And good evening to you all. Welcome to Monday Night Live, coming here from Windy Bum in the Peak District. And as always, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be permitted to come direct into your eyes and ears. Now then. I hope you've had a fabulous weekend, and I hope you've had a great Monday. And I'd like to hear all about it. What have you been up to? What have you been up to over the weekend? What have you been up to today? What's the most exciting thing that happened to you? Did anything very nearly but not quite fall on your head? Have you worn fresh underwear every single day? And be honest, because if you're lying, I will know. Trust me on that. Obviously, I need to know what you've had for dinner, any gossip that's going around. Oh, it was that NEC thing over the weekend, so tell me about that. Now, considering it was supposed to be some sort of big show, you'd think somebody would have made a video. But I've checked YouTube, I've looked everywhere on social media, not a mention of it, not a video in sight. So, right, let's catch up with you lot. Now then, who've we got? Well, we have underscore. Just bear with me a moment. Cheers, my loves. It's a sheer delight to be back with you. I've missed you terribly. I always do when we're not together. Oh, I was ready for that, my little tubs of curry sauce. Oh, and you look fabulous tonight, by the way. Have you done something different with your hair? And have you been working out? You're looking mighty fine. So we've got Matt, we've got GPS, all playing this new game that's all the rage. Simon, hello. Jimmy, hello. Cheeseburgers here, spiffing. Game over. Pingu Concord is with us, and buttocks to you, Pingo. Proud, pert, purple, speckled buttocks. Oh, is it? Oh, apparently Simon of Project MGTF, one of our community channels. Apparently he's changed his name to Norman Butler, and why wouldn't you? Oh, One Health Review, excellent boobies. What a splendid comment. Can't have enough boobies. Bad Books is with us. Good evening, Bonnie lad and all. Good evening to you, Bad Books. Liz is with us and says, in her normal winning and engaging manner, hello. And I think we all know what she means by that. Hello to you too, Liz. Blah, 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 blah. Chaz Brown is with us and says, hello, Sir Boaty. Did you have a good weekend and a few more miles in the Freelander? Let's see. Excuse me, that one came early. First burp of the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get my burping napkin ready for such events. I do apologise for my terrible broach of decorum there. No, I haven't used Boo over the weekend. I don't think. And I haven't used it today either. I was planning to go to the Yard of Dreams in Boo today. Take her there for the first time. And the weather was better than expected. And in a last minute change of heart, I took Fräulein Wetleg von Tittybiscuits instead. And I'm jolly glad I did, because we had a fabulous day. And with the lighter evenings, I treated myself and I came home over the Snake Pass, dropping down to Lady Bower Reservoir. And it's been a fabulous day. I will tell you all about that later on. But it's kind of you to ask, Jazz. Simone is with us saying huzzah. And huzzah to you, Simone. Matt's complaining about something or other. What? His jumper's camouflaged with the background. Ah, yes, I see what you mean there. Simone of Hooked on Classics, another of our community channels. Seek it out, subscribe, watch the videos, hit like, don't skip the adverts, leave that knob alone. Simone says, NEC Boaty, as requested, give me an update on the weekend. I replaced the windscreen at the show. I also had a poo when I was there. Well, I think we need to know more about that, Simone. Was it a morning poo? Was it an afternoon poo? Was it a poo that took place at your normal poo time? You just happened to be at the NEC? Or was it a completely unexpected random poo, perhaps brought on by the sheer excitement of the doings of the NEC? And I think we'd all like to hear about the lavatory facilities. So do tell us more. Pingu says, nice interview with Hubnut, Simone. It was indeed a very nice interview. But I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it, because I've seen nothing about the whole thing on social media or YouTube. Evening, Boaty, Mr. Bollock Breath, says GPS with his normal charm. How's it hanging? Once again, slightly to the left. Oh, Thomas is with us. Hello, Boaty. Still besotted with boo? Yeah, I'm absolutely still utterly besotted with boo. You need to check the Infidels video, Boaty, says Cheeseburger. We have a traitor in our midst. Well, yeah, but in fairness, I mean, she was hijacked by the infidel, wasn't she? It's not like she went to seek him out. Although I do think that the interview would have been better if it had finished with you squirting him with a water pistol, Simone. But there we are. Right, we're still doing... Black Lines is definitely not here. So thank you for... oh, hello. Oh, a thumbs up. Splendid. That is a thumbs up from a splendid fellow. And I think I may have Simon of Project MGTF to thank for this happening. But he was getting rid of some Rover 75 interior, and he's going to drop off the driver's seat at the Yard of Dreams, which has an undeployed airbag, which can hopefully be fitted to Stigbürt's deployed airbag seat, and then hopefully I can get the seat restitched, repaired, and possibly restuffed as well, so that it provides a little more solid comfort for my big fat ass. And I will hold my hands up to having a big fat ass. But let me remind you of this. You need a big hammer to drive home a big nail. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, we do have another message hidden from sight. Health review. It will be filth. Oh, look, says Black Lines. I'm in the middle of boobies. Is there a better place? Well, yeah, slightly to the left or slightly to the right, so that you're actually on a boobie, rather than just... I suppose it is quite nice to nuzzle in between them, isn't it? And feel the warmth around your ears. And another one hidden from sight, from BS. Erect nipples is BS's opening line. Well, quite. And erect nipples to you, BS. And also, hi, Boaty. And hi to you. Pingu has got news for us. Fitted BRM front grille and resprayed front bumper of my Project Normal. Normal? There's a Freudian slip for you. Project Norman today. Almost looks presentable. Well done, Pingu. And Simon would like to see pictures of that. What is your average MPG in boobies? Asked GPS. Haven't got a clue. Now, I purchased a super duper clever app which tracks everything about your car, including the average MPG, cost per mile and so on. But it relies on you filling your car up occasionally. You can input the information without the car being full up, but it's got to be filled up every now and then. So the thing has a point of reference to work out the MPG and whatnot. And I haven't been able to fill a car up with petrol for about 3 years, simply due to being too terribly poor. And also you need to keep the receipt, and I used to do it. I did it for ages when I was running HJ as a daily, and I quite liked having that information, and I keep thinking that I should do it again, and perhaps I will, but I've got no idea what Boo is doing to the gallon, and I'm going to try not to worry about it too much. But at the end of the day, it's diesel, so it's bound to be really cheap to run, isn't it? And there's the other one. Simon says, I met Chop's Garage and Classic Wheels Wales at the NEC. And, he adds, Matt from Furious Driving. Well, look at you hobnobbing with the famous and influential. GPS is also interested in Simone's poo and asks, was it one of those poos that when you went to wipe you didn't need to? Well, they come along very, very few times in a lifetime. A fartless, swooping masterpiece requiring absolutely zero cleanup. I probably have done one, but not for a long time. My old arse is not what it once was. I did try having an arse transplant, but unfortunately the arse rejected me. But there we are. If anybody has managed one of those poos recently, do let us know. And Simon continues, but managed to not see Sarah Crabtree, whoever that is, or Steph from iDriver Classic. Well, that has to be viewed as their misfortune, Simon, doesn't it? Weekend, says Bad Books. Clumsy gardening, hedge cutting injury, one finger very painful, then burnt another finger on the bonfire. Oh dear. Lots of nice dog walks. Splendid. Oh, we have poo news from Simone. It was a random poo. Goodness me. Brought on by a terrible Cornish pasty. Oh dear, it was a revenge of the Cornish pasty poo, was it? The loos were very clean until I arrived. Oh dear. Was it, oh, you weren't fitted with one of those multi-directional splatter bottoms, were you? Well, I think let's have a minute's silence for whoever went into that cubicle, trap one, whichever one it was, after Simone and her revenge of the Cornish pasty poo. Thoughts and prayers to that person. Thoughts and prayers. God, imagine if you were there with your other half or on a date or something and you got really randy and thought you'd nip into the bogs for a quick knee trembler and unbeknowingly all sexually tensed up with hyper randy energy, and unknowingly you walked into the trap already pulling your bits and pieces down in preparation that Simone had just left. God, that would put you off, wouldn't it? Dear me. And I like to think that that is exactly what happened. So, if you were one of the randy couple who nipped into that lavatory cubicle for a bit of a NEC quickie and discovered that somebody who shall remain nameless had had a disgraceful episode in there and it smelled like a slaughtered cow. Let us know what happened. Did you just retreat rapidly in horror, or did you just carry on and crack on with it anyway? Oh, Simone says, I was interviewed by iDriver Classic. My goodness me, what a weekend it's been for some of us. More interviews coming from more channels. Well, Simone is quite clearly the star amongst us at the moment. I filled up my lawnmower with E5 today, says General Cheeseburger. I don't even put that in the car. With diesel prices being so high, and this is Cheeseburger again, the benefits of diesel over petrol is marginal. Not when diesel's only £1.20 a litre, it's not. That's not marginal in my book. Dave Smith is with us and says hello, and in return I say hello to you, Dave. It's lovely to have you with us. An early one for Boaty. Well, kind of 11 is the normal time. It's just that if somebody else is doing one, especially Mustard, and Mustard's got into the habit of rambling on for about 16 hours now, it means that it's about 1 o'clock in the morning by the time that I can get on to do mine. A nasty pasty, says Matt, and it certainly sounds like it. It could have been worse, Simone. Oh no, it could have been worse, full stop. Simone could have had a bad curry. Yeah, that could be. Well, I don't know. Is that worse than a bad Cornish pasty? I mean, a bad curry, normally speaking, a bad curry means that you're urinating rusty water out of your bottom for hours on ends. I'm thinking that a bad Cornish pasty, that could produce lumps. That could produce distressing lumps. The sort of lumps that when they land like a bouncing bum, splash your cheeks with water droplets of shame. And then you have to pat your bum dry after. Well, anyway, we don't need to be talking about that. Somebody might be having their supper. Knee trembler, asks Matt. You're motorboating the wrong place. They don't call him Floater Boaty for nothing, says Dave Smith. At least she used the loo and didn't require a name change to Poop Tongue Classics. Gosh, yeah. Dear me. There probably is a show somewhere where people turn up with their pride and joys and then drop anchor on the bonnet, and everybody else walks round and inspects them and compares them. Nothing would surprise me with the sort of person who goes to those things. God almighty, as if the wife swapping and dogging wasn't enough, why wouldn't they be interested in each other's poos? After all, they are the ultimate bottom sniffers. General Cheeseburger replies to MGTF. Much faster, the wife does it. E10 is rotting the tank of lawnmowers if it's left in there too long. Oh, right. Gareth Williams is with us and says evening also. We all say good evening to Gareth. Dave Smith says, to be fair, I was expecting half a Chops Garage video. And that is Dave, rather cheekily, referring to my collection caper, my comedy collection caper, of Boo the Freelander. And of course, I prefaced that video with some footage that James very kindly allowed me to use of his video showing a bit of background to the car. And might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I think it added value and it, gave a nice introduction to the story and fleshed out a bit of history. And I can add to it now because James has subsequently mentioned to me that Boo was part exchange at a Suzuki main dealership for a brand new vehicle. So she wasn't cast aside for some heap of old pants. And that's good to know. I used to get free petrol, says Underscore, but they've installed cameras now. Oh dear. Diesel at 120. Is your diesel a different colour? Yes, it is, Cheeseburger. I dye it blue. £1.66 here for diesel, says GPS. See, I'm not reading that out, Matt. I'll show the comments so you can read it if you want to, but I am not reading that out. You're an absolute disgrace, sir. It's funny though, but can I just make it clear that the views of my unpaid intern are not necessarily the views of either myself or my channel or any of my joint enterprises. Diesel not being 120 for years, says Bad Books. Depends where you go, mate. Could be worse. Might be Amber Turd, says Simone. Simon says, do you remember when people could afford petrol without having to reduce on other things, like ciggies and pints of stones? Yeah, I think we all remember those good old days in the 1950s. Oh, fabulous. I remember when rationing finished. First time I saw the banana. Dear me. So exotic. That snippet, says Liz from Chop's Garage, was really useful. I've bought some Owlatrol to try on headlights as a result. Yeah, that's another reason why I left it in, Liz, because that stuff looks amazing. And I will also be ordering some, except I haven't got any money to buy any at the moment. And it's not expensive, but you know, it's like 15 quid and I haven't got 15 quid spared at the moment. But it's amazing looking stuff. And I will definitely be laying in stock. And I will no longer have to rely on Captain Mustard sorting my headlights for me and only ever doing one to take the piss. Ah, dear. Boo Biz the Freelander. Get it right, Boaty. I thought I did. Sorry for typo, says Liz. Been awake 36 hours again. I think we forgive you. The first time I filled up my first motorcycle petrol, says Simone. The first time I filled up my first motorcycle, petrol was 76 pence a litre. Bloody hell. General Cheeseburger says, if you fill up at a supermarket using pay at pump, they earmark 120 quid off your bank card. And that gets rid of what used to be a really helpful before payday interest-free loan. Because before that happened, you could use pay at pump, it'd take like a quid off your card and the actual amount wouldn't go up for 2 days. So if you were skint the day before payday, you could go and fill up and the money wouldn't go out until you'd been paid. Sadly, that no longer happens. Yep, James did let him use Chop's footage, says Dave, but still very lazy. Well, it's not lazy at all, Dave, and I'll explain to you why. Being lazy would have been not using it at all. Now, I wanted to use it because without that footage, there's no background to the car. It's just a random car that I'm buying. And I thought that footage added value, especially as it had that product in it that Liz has already said she has ordered, and which I think will be beneficial to many other people. But it wasn't lazy, because I had to, first of all, I had to obtain that footage, right? And that is quite tricky. It's quite tricky to lift footage off YouTube and sort of rejiggle it about so that you can use it yourself. And then, Dave, I had to edit it, and I edited it quite a lot. If you look at the original video, you'll see that I edited a hell of a lot from that. And then I put it all together and I overdubbed it, and I laid down a soundtrack on it, and I fitted it into my own footage. So that wasn't laziness, that was about an hour and a half of hard work. So I refute the laziness aspect. Let us know how it works out. I could do with something on mine, says Simon. He's talking about headlights. Have a look at his footage, mate. No, don't look at his footage. Look at mine. Look at my collection video. The stuff is amazing, and I can tell you that it's been weeks and weeks since James did the headlights on Boo, and Boo's headlights are still absolutely clear as a bell, and they function because they're so incredibly clear. They function amazingly, and the stuff works differently. Now, you will probably use, well, if you do anything at all, you'll do some form of headlight restoration, whether that's using a kit or just wet sanding it and rubbing it down and lacquering it. What this stuff does, the reason that the headlamps go opaque, the plastic headlamp covers the reason they go opaque is because the natural oils in the plastic dry out, dissipate and disappear. Now what this stuff does is it replaces those oils. So there's no hard work involved at all. It's literally a 2-minute job. You just pop the stuff on, nice thin layer with a paintbrush, leave it for a couple of minutes, rub it off. Job done. Headlights as literally as good as new, and they'll stay that way for quite a while. What about the roadblocks when petrol went to £1 a litre? Crazy times. Oh, hello, Mustard's here and says, hello. Hello, Mustard. I loved today, mate. We had a great laugh. I'll be talking about that later on, but not too much. Just enough to whet their appetites for Thursday night. Because, my darlings, Thursday night is the relaunch of my joint channel with Captain Mustard. And as we're going to term it, it's going to be season 2, new and improved. I remember 3 and 4 star petrol as well. Does HJ need a headlight polish, asks Pingu. Yes. Oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. But just use this stuff. It's amazing. I can remember buying 5-star petrol for my P5B at 48p per gallon, says Jimmy Quinn, who's going back a while. Oh, Dave. Dave has very kindly bunged me £2, and I really appreciate that, Dave. Thank you very, very much indeed. But he said it's £2. It's £2 to delete Project Nigel from the chat. I can't do that. I need too many favours from him. And it's his turn to buy lunch next week. I almost got away with lunch today. I genuinely forgot my wallet. I didn't forget it totally. When we went for lunch, we went in his car, in Eric, because he wanted to behave like an absolute dick now that Eric is all super powered and drives like a bloody Impreza. Jesus Christ. It goes like greased weasel droppings now. It's nonsensical. And he drove it like a drug-crazed teenager. But the point was that I'd left my wallet in Wetleg. So fortunately, Mustard had cash with him, and Mustard paid for lunch. And I managed to keep forgetting to give him the money back during the afternoon. And then just before we were due to go, Mustard put me in an arm lock and gave me a Chinese burn and said he'd keep going until I paid him the money. And he's surprisingly strong for an old man. And my wrist was really hurting, so I gave him the money. And to teach me a lesson, he didn't give me the change. When he handed over his £20 note for the lunch, he got change. When I handed over my note, I didn't get a sausage. So not only did I pay for lunch, I gave him a tip. Bloody hell. Oh, Liz says that Owlatrol on headlamps might be my very first bid. Who knows? Not if I get to it first, Liz. I stop buying fuel from supermarkets unless I have cash. Mustard says hello to everyone. Dave Smith continues to take issue with me and insists that I was lazy. And again, that's regarding using Chop's footage. Well, Dave, there's a reason why you should be even more disappointed in me and take me to task yet again, because I didn't just use Chop's garage footage with James's permission. I used some of Mustard's footage as well, without his permission. I didn't bother asking. I just nicked it. Because, I mean, he is my husband. And if you can't nick your husband's material, then what can you do? A hidden comment. Marvellous. It's Matt. And Matt says, I've had a nap. I can only apologise for the shit I bring. There's a lot of shit in tonight, isn't there? Only 1.5 hours in the edit, says Simon. No, 1.5 hours total, because that included lifting the footage off YouTube and reformatting it for use in my edit suite. WD-40 works well on headlights, says GPS. Oh, hello. My friend Steve, big tall Steve, 6'7" Steve, has graced us with his presence this evening. I've not noticed him in a live stream before, so welcome, mate. For those who don't know, Steve is an old friend of mine. We've known each other virtually online for over 20 years. Anyway, Steve says that laziness is ambushing me for an impromptu car review. Well, again, that's not laziness. I put some effort into that. That is seizing opportunity, is that, Steve? For those who don't know, if you look at my most recent video, my friend Steve was dropping a car in Chesterfield. It was his Alpha Spider. Well, technically, it's his good lady's Alpha Spider. And he was dropping a car at a place to get the brake calipers painted, polished, and to have a mural of my face and semi-naked body placed on them. Let's be honest, why wouldn't you do that? I'm sure many others of you have as well. And he was going to be kicking his heels in Chesterfield for a couple of hours. So I invited him up here for lunch, Momo lunch, no less. So that meant that I had to go down and pick him up. Again, not lazy. And I thought, well, I'll make the bugger earn his lunch. And when he went to clamber into the passenger seat, I said, nope, driver's seat for you, my boy. You're doing a car review. And gave him absolutely no choice in the matter. And to be fair, what a professional. He just leapt in, managed to cram himself. We had to open the sunroof thing. Because he is quite a tall gentleman, and he just took off in a strange old car without a problem, drove it impeccably, as you would imagine, and gave what I think was really rather a good, informed and interesting, entirely off the cuff, filmed review. And he literally had no idea that was going to happen. And he literally had about 7 seconds warning. And it's really very good. So I apologise for that, Steve, but thank you for some great footage. And again, welcome to the live stream. Anything that coats the plastic and fills in the cracks works, says Simon, talking about headlamps. But eventually it'll come off again. Well, yeah, but if it's as simple as this Aldrol stuff, and all you've got to do is just quickly whack it on and wipe it off, I don't mind doing that a couple of times a year to have my headlamps absolutely perfect. Not a problem at all. Don't put WD-40 on rubber, you'll regret it for 18 years, says Cheeseburger, who has never forgotten that incident with the condom and impromptu lubricant. We all feel your pain there, Cheeseburger. Parking in the sun buggers up headlights. Well, good job we live in the UK then, isn't it, Bad Books? We don't have that problem. Oh, WD-40 rots rubber. Oh dear, not good with condoms. Nobody wants a rotten condom. There are, oh dear, God. You gave him £20 and expected sausage. Well, that's a little more than 20% gay. We had this discussion yet again today. Which of us is the most gay? I mean, it is suspiciously gay when two allegedly heterosexual, that's another Freudian slip there, didn't it? Where two allegedly straight men talk, well, actually, I won't tell you, wait until you see today's lunch video. Bloody hellfire. If you're going to watch the lunch video, skip the first 25 minutes and watch the last 25. And if it's as funny as I think it is, then you will hose yourselves. Don't freeze your wine tonight. I won't. I see he hasn't dusted. Bollocks, GPS. Big, hairy bollocks. You're not getting me again with that. Oh, it was 40p, by the way, says Mustard. Yeah, 40p tip I gave Mustard. 40p that he trousered quite happily and didn't even contemplate handing over. There wasn't even a thought. There wasn't a, you don't need this 40p, do you? Or you're not worried about the change. It wasn't even mentioned. He didn't even, I mean, he went towards the pocket and I thought, oh, that'll be getting there, that'll be getting my change in. And no, the note went in, the hand came out empty. Didn't even mention it. The man has got no bloody shame. What has he not got? Exactly. Outrageous. So next week, when it's his turn to buy lunch, I'm going to get the most expensive thing on the menu and a large portion of it with something extra. And he copped for an extra super hot, lovely sauce. He got 3 and he kept the third one. We deployed 1 each upon our luncheons. And if you're interested, we both had the same thing today. I had my normal and Mustard joined me, but it wasn't enough for him because he's a greedy fat bastard. And he filled himself up on rusks afterwards. He was like a teething infant, he was. He just kept shoving these rusks into his gaping great cake hole for the rest of the afternoon. Kind of ruined the videos, but there you go. If you like seeing a large hairy man broadcasting with a rusk in his mouth, you're in for a fucking treat on the doings of Mustard and Boaty. Oh, God above. Oh, hello. Right, yes. Good night, Boaty, says Simone, and all. I have been requested to work tomorrow, so I need to be up at, 6 a.m. Ouch, toodaloo. Well, congratulations on a great weekend, Simone. In all seriousness, I did watch your interviews with Hubner and with Simon. I haven't seen you on with Steph. I thought you were brilliant, really brilliant. And I said as much to Mustard today. So he will back me up that I'm not just giving you empty flattery. I did indeed comment on how well you present and how well you come across. And hopefully your channel will have had a massive rise in subscribers and views as a result. And it's jolly well deserved. And I hope everything went smoothly. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for popping in tonight. We appreciate it. and sleep tight. Hope everything goes well tomorrow. Boom! I properly nailed that, didn't I? Fuck here now. What a pro. What a pro. I mean, you haven't had talent like this since Teddy Wogan coughed it. I amaze myself. I'm amazed you fit in that Fiat 500, says GPS. That's addressed to Steve, who owns that Fiat 500. His name is Luigi. He's a 1967 left-hand drive Fiat 500, incredibly low mileage, imported from Sicily. And if you haven't watched that video, go and watch it. A 6'5" bloke and a 6'7" bloke, both driving one of the smallest cars that the world has ever produced. It's hilarious. But what a gorgeous little car that is. And I loved that filming day. It was absolutely brilliant. And I'm really looking forward to doing some more filming with Steve. The next film will be a little bit different to his Fiat 500. It's going to be his 280 litre V8 TVR convertible. And I can't wait to get my bottom on the driving seat of that. Would you ever want to buy a Rover from Def Leppard, asks Dave. And I think he may just be referring to Captain Mustard there. Underscore says not lazy in that particular fashion of his. Now that would be a top-selling car sticker, Boaty, says Pingu. What would? I'm not sure which bit. Tell me which bit, and I'll have it made. Oh, I have found somebody for car stickers. Well, that's a lie. I didn't find somebody. The lovely Liz put me on to somebody, and they've messaged me, and I need to reply to them, and I've completely forgotten about it because I'm crap at replying to messages. I don't fit into it very well, says Steve, talking about his Fiat 500, and coming out with an understatement, a little like Noah looking out of the ark and saying, looks like we might get a shower. But I love it. And that's true on both accounts. He certainly doesn't fit into it very well, but my God, does he love that car. And again, watch the video. If you listen to the backstory of why he wanted one and how long he waited to get one, you'll understand why he loves that car as much as I love my little Tinkle. Mustard says hello to people. Does your fridge door naturally close itself after you take the wine out, or is the floor not level? Good question, Chaz Brown. I don't know. Let's see. Door open. Oh, there is movement. Oh, look. Well, that's answered that. Apparently, the door does close itself, and the floor is almost certainly not level, Chaz, because nothing in this cottage is level. Absolutely everything is on the wonk, as is standard in very old cottages, and this is a very, very old cottage. Yeah, honestly, there's not a straight line or a level thing in the place. The fireplaces are on the wonk, the floors are on the wonk, everything's on the wonk. Although unusually, you are not, as far as I can tell. And that's quite unusual. I enjoyed Steve's Boo review, says Liz. Thank you, Liz. I think Steve comes across very well, and I think we need more Steve. Who agrees with me that we need much more Steve? Poor Steve, says Simon. How could he ever say anything but nice things about Boo when you're bribing him with dinner? Yeah, well, I'm not as daft as I bloody look, am I? And, well, he did say some not nice things. He said that it has an excessive amount of cup holders because you need a large number of coffees while you're waiting for the breakdown service, which is not a particularly nice thing to say. I mean, it's true, but it's not nice. Anyway, Steve and I, much like Mustard and I, Steve and I are old friends, and we have the sort of relationship where there are no niceties, you just rip the piss out of each other. Steve has been ripping the piss out of me for over 20 years. He went through a phase, this is true, right? Now, Steve works in Chesterfield Town Centre, and I used to work at Sainsbury's in Chesterfield. And he went through a phase, the bastard, when I was going through some old nails of cars. And when they broke, I used to abandon them on Sainsbury's car park. One of them, a K11 Micro, was there for years. And Steve would nip over once or twice a week on his lunch break, take photographs of whatever cars I'd abandoned there and put them on Facebook on some page, some made-up page he promoted called Spot a Shed or something like that. And all this page was bloody pictures of my poor old cars. Oh, God. Now, that's proper friendship when somebody gives up their lunch break to rip the piss out of you on social media. God, there was a time when I had two broken S-type Jags on there. He had a riot with those. My God, they were more famous on Facebook than anything I've ever done. Oh dear. Hi Boaty, says Mr. Matthew. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Hi Boaty. Not until the joint channel goes live. What's this event you've set up? Asks Simon. Well, the event that I've set up is a Boaty's World Peak District pub lunch. Now, as I've been promising for ages, throughout summer, I plan to organise something, maybe low-key, maybe a bit less low-key, but on any Sunday where there's not something else happening, like the Project Nigel meetup next Sunday, any free Sunday, I'm going to organise something. So, not expecting everybody to come, but, you know, it's there if you fancy it. And if you don't fancy it or you can't make it, there'll be another one very soon. So, you know, I'm hoping that by doing this, sooner or later, I'll get to meet some of you or all of you or most of you. And as we head into summer, that will be augmented by Monday evening meetups, where I will travel to a different part of the United Kingdom and stay the night on a Monday, and whoever lives near there, we can meet up for a nice drink on a Monday evening. But the event that I've set up is April the 16th, which is a Sunday, and it's meeting at a nice, albeit generic pub in the Peak District for Sunday lunch. The idea is that we will meet at 12. There's a massive great car park. We can park up, mingle, drive each other's cars, video, take pictures, whatever we want to do, and then schlep into the pub at 1 o'clock and have a nice lunch together. Now, doing it at that time means that you can have a nice drive to the Peak District, go for a walk, visit somewhere on the way, and rock up at 12. But the pub is literally directly next door to Ignition Cars and Coffee. So, if you wanted to, you could get there a little bit earlier and nip into Ignition Cars and Coffee, have a nice coffee before lunch, and have a browse of all the exotic cars, classics, supercars that are going to be hanging about there. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just a meet up, a bit of a mingle, and we'll have a nice lunch together. I thought it might be nice, and you know, it doesn't matter if 3 or 4 of us turn up or 20 or 30 of us turn up. I'm sure it will be fun, and there will be more like that to come. But this is going to be the first one, so I hope as many of you as possible will make it. Has any work been done on the caravan to make it usable yet? Asked Simon. Watch the video on Thursday night and all will be revealed. There you go, that's answered that one. When I started drinking, says Cheeseburger, 40p would buy you a half. Why not edit out the first 25 minutes of the lunch video, says Mustard? Because that's just giving them the good stuff without them working for it. That's not how life works. You don't just get to go straight on the roller coaster. You have to queue up for an hour. You don't get to go straight into the pottering. You have to do all the boring foreplay stuff or buy them dinner or something. That's how life works. You get the bitter before the sweet. And that's how our lunch videos work. You sit through 25 minutes of boringness, watching us eat, and then after suffering 25 minutes of that, then we relax, and then the magic happens, and you get repaid for that 25 minutes of boredom. So no, sod 'em, let them earn the good stuff. Exactly, crazy talk, Simon. I'm glad you agree with me. Jimmy Quinn has very kindly bunged me £1. Thank you, Jimmy. Very, very much appreciated. Every little helps, as the old lady said when she piddled in the sea. Thank you, Jimmy. Really appreciate that. Rusks with custard, says Matt. School time classic. Yeah, don't talk about school after our journey back from... No, I won't talk about that. That'll be in a video. Apparently, according to Simon, I didn't get where I am today by editing videos to manageable lengths of time. Well, there is an element of truth in that, but everybody needs a USP, and that one's mine. I edit videos very carefully to make them look as if they haven't been edited at all. No, I'm not reading that one out, Cheeseburger. Liz says to Simone, who is no longer here, your interview with Project MGTF was really good. I agree, it was. Matt has deployed the muff magnet emoji. Have you seen Beards and Bangers MGTF collection caper, asks Bad Books. Yes, I have. And I commented on it to prove that I'd seen it. And the lovely Rob, who is, of course, Mr. Rob of one of our community channels, Bed and Breakfast, and Rob has asked me to point out that in his B&B establishment, double rooms are for married couples only, and there is a £10 per person supplement for a cooked breakfast. Otherwise, it's just cornflakes and the cheap supermarket juice. Simone was still with us at this point. Thank you, Boaty and Mustard. So far, I've acquired 40 subs at least. Yay, way to go, Simone. Brilliant. Good for you. Simon says, she's so easy to talk to and incredibly friendly. I wish we lived closer. A mustard overdose, says Mustard, in response to Matt, who has deployed no fewer than 10 muff magnet emojis. GPS says these emojis need to be PNG transparent so you don't get the black background. God almighty. Well, you might be asking a bit much of my technical ability there. Chaz Brown says, great fridge, I want one. Are the ghosts closing the fridge door, asks Cheeseburger. No, the ghosts are busy with Boo, replies Matt. More Steve, bless him, says Bad Books. More Steve. Fridges are great and God is great. says Captain Mustard, in a rousing tribute to both refrigerators and deities. And I concur on both counts, although obviously being a minister of the Pastafarian faith, that whilst I respect all deities, I've got a particularly soft spot for the FSM, my own personal deity of choice. Other deities are available, but quite frankly, I wouldn't recommend them. Splendid, splendid. It's going well tonight, isn't it? I'm enjoying myself. I've forgotten what other things I wanted to talk about. Definitely more Steve, says Liz. We all want more Steve. More Steve, more Steve, more Steve. Do you remember scarves? Asks Simon. Well, yeah, I never forgot them, really. Indeed, somebody visited Mustard very recently wearing a scarf, and he looked rather elegant. Like blankets, only smaller and easier to strangle yourself with. I do like a nice scarf, says Bad Books. They're quick to fall out of favour these days, replies Simon. What the fuck? Why are we talking about scarves? Have I missed something? April the 16th is the day after Pride of Longbridge. 100% correct, Cheeseburger. I thought that anybody visiting POL from the north will probably stay overnight, and then they can nip in for lunch on the way home, because, you know, up here for thinking, down there for dancing, middle for diddle. So, yeah, I'm not just a pretty face. Well, I'm not even that. But yes, it is the day after the Pride of Longbridge. So, if you feel dirty, unclean, and shamed after getting up to some wife swapping at POL, then come and cleanse yourself by having lunch with a reverend, and I will forgive you and absolve you of your sins if you buy me a drink. Oh, a message health review, splendid. Oh God, and it. Oh, Christ above. The hidden message was from community member Wetleg's rear end. And the message reads, I am still sore from the spanking you gave me today, lard ass. And I have to confess that Wetleg's rear end is correct on all counts. I did give Wetleg a proper spanking today, and it was just fabulous. My God, that car is fun to drive. She might not be the best MGF out there, but in my eyes, she's the best. And I absolutely adore her, and I loved today. I absolutely loved it. It was fabulous. So yeah, she did have a spanking, but she loved it. She's a goer, and she can take it. In fact, she squeals for more. And I have got a I have got a lard ass. So oh dear. I need to have somewhere where I put all of these comments. I should screenshot them and put them in an album somewhere, or make a video of them. Or Wogan used to do that. This is why Teddy Wogan was a genius, right? And this is what I aspire to. I don't know if any of you used to listen to Teddy Wogan's radio shows. But this was how they went, right? People cleverer and funnier than him wrote in I was one of them. I wrote a lot of stuff for Wogan. And he used to read it out and get paid millions of pounds a year for reading out stuff that other people wrote, right? Now, that's clever, but this is where he was even cleverer. What he did then was he put them all into books and sold them back to the people that wrote them in the first place. And we stood for it. I mean, to be fair, I only ever bought his books from charity shops at about 10 pence a go. But, you know, how ridiculous is that? I pay to buy a book with stuff in it that I pissing well wrote. And he lives in absolute luxury off the proceedings. Although, back in the day, I did buy his Bentley and I made a really good profit on it. So I think I'm in the pound seats there. Right. Oh, God. Scarf. Shouldn't Thor be the god of fire? I know a joke about that. What's Project Nigel HQ postcode for Sunday? Asked Bad Books. Haven't got a clue, mate. It's Kiln Lane, Milne Row. But Project Nigel exists on Google. So if you just Google Project Nigel, you'll get the postcode, you'll get the address, and it'll give you directions to it. All will be revealed inside the caravan. Lucky mustard. We fast forward it. We don't need to edit the 25 minutes. Exactly. Somebody with a bit of gumption there. I'm not reading that out, Matt. It's funny. Are there any speed bumps on the planned drive en route so I can decide which car to bring? Well, he hasn't worked the route out yet. He'll tell you that he has, but he hasn't. He admitted it today. He hasn't got a clue where you're going. So good luck is all I can say. Oh, and Mustard provides the postcode very helpfully, and it's Oscar Lima 163 Juliet Fuckwit. Oh, there are no speed bumps, says Simon. So Mustard confirms that there are no speed bumps on the route that he hasn't decided on yet. Unless he did it while he was sitting on the bog after getting home this evening. He certainly hadn't decided at 5:30 this afternoon. Honestly. And stay tuned in to Boaty's World for more behind the scenes Mustard secrets. Make fridges great again, says Chaz Brown. Am I attending the Pride of Longbridge meeting? Asks Simon. Excuse me. Probably not, Simon, to be honest. Unless somebody takes me and guarantees that I'll be the centre of attention and buys me lunch. Otherwise, no. I know I said that I'm going to go to all of these things this year, but God almighty. Again, all joking apart, I've watched footage of the NEC and it looked absolutely bloody ghastly. I can't imagine anything that I would enjoy less. I would probably hate every second of it. And yeah, that's kind of it really. I think they're utterly pointless. Don't get me off on another rant on these things. I am going to attend some this year, but I'm only going to do it when I can do it in an ironic manner with Mustard. And I'll let you into a secret. We are going to attend car shows this year with Mr. George Roger Boaty, and we're going to turn up, park the caravan up, get into the caravan, and we're not going to leave it. We're going to make a video inside the caravan, and anybody's welcome to come in and talk to us, but we're not going to leave the caravan. We're not going to look around the cars. We're not going to go and talk to other people. We're not going to make boring videos that are the same as everybody else's boring video. We're just going to luxuriate in the caravan of desire, which at that point might have some interesting advertising on it that I've decided on, because we have come up with a theme for the caravan, or at least I have. and it amuses me so much that I'm determined to go with it. But yeah, so that's the plan for car shows this year. Turn up in the caravan, jump into the caravan, make a nice lunch, and don't leave it. And leave the door open so that anybody can pop in. And a warning in advance, if you enter the Caravan of Desire, you will be filmed. Filming will be going on constantly. And if you enter the Caravan of Desire, you are implicitly giving your permission to be filmed and to appear on a film. It's all part of the deal. Oh dear. Pride of Longbridge. God above. And Boaty is paying for everyone's lunch. Oh, good luck with that. Do you think I'm joking when I tell you how poor I am? Do you want to see my bank account? What do you mean, face not recognised? It's my face. How can you not recognise it? Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Oh, dear. Oh, God, it's a good job I looked. Oh, bloody hell. Savings account, 0. Current account, overdraft limit, £100. Current account balance, minus £147.47. Overdraft remaining, minus £47.47. I'm in trouble tomorrow. Things is going to bounce. Oh, dear. So, regarding me paying for everybody's lunch, bloody good luck with that. Come in trainers, because we'll be doing a runner. Owner of the most unreliable car pays for lunch, says Matt. And then Simon asks, quite sensibly, how will they get there? Yeah, the most unreliable car just won't even start, will it? So it won't get there. I suppose if your car doesn't start and you can't get there, maybe you would then have to ring up the pub, hand over your credit card details so that they can take the payment for lunch there. Actually, that would be a really good, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't admit to it though, would you? If your car didn't start, maybe everybody should have to pay a £10 deposit. And if you don't make it there, we'll assume it's because your car hasn't started. And so you lose your 10 quid and at least one person gets a free lunch. Although, I've started putting the menu up on the event, and you're going to struggle to get lunch for a tenner. God almighty, it's not like the Milkston Road. They want 14 quid for a pissing burger. We'll all have to take out a second mortgage. Or maybe we can all have children's meals. Or I'll try and blag some vouchers from somewhere. Or we'll have to have one meal between 2 or 3. Or one person can go in and order a meal and the rest of us will sneak sandwiches in and a hip flask. We'll work something out. I might make Pride of Longbridge, says Cheeseburger. The baggers are away so I can make the afternoon. Oh, there we are. P&HQ is Simon Street on TomTom. No, it's not. Well, it might be, but that's not where it is. There was a gorgeous streetwise at the NEC, massive exhaust and fancy wheels. Ivor Spotty Botty is with us and says a very good evening, Boaty and everyone. Good evening to you, Spotty Botty. Get that cigarette lit. Oh, and Sven is with us, Car Crazy Norwegian, one of our community channels. If you haven't checked out Car Crazy Norwegian, check out the channel, subscribe, watch the videos. You'll enjoy them, I promise. And make sure to hit like. I've forgotten what he said now. Hello, Mr. Boaty and everyone else. Hope you all have a splendid evening. Very kind of you, Sven, and the same to you. Hope all is well down under, says Matt, and he's pointing that at Spotty Botty. Come with me, says Mustard, you'll enjoy it, talking about Pride of Longbridge. Yeah, I'd come with you, because I would enjoy it if I was with you. I could whinge about it all the way down, take the piss out of everyone when I'm actually there, and then whinge about it all the way back. And you'll get really annoyed, and that'll make for a really good video. And everybody will say, I would have left him at the first services, the whinging twat. Like they did on my collection caper video, which was amusing. Yeah, if you've still got a spare seat in your car, as long as it's in the front and you don't drive like a wazzock, I'll jump in. What the hell? It'll give me something to talk about, and I can make one of my ironic videos where I walk around Pride of Longbridge and video everybody's shoes and talk about them and not get any footage of a single car, because there'll be another 40,000 people all doing that and making bloody videos about them. Did I see something about us needing to get there for 7:30 a.m? Fucking hell. And apparently, ideally, you do. Jesus Christ. 7:30 a.m? God, have you people really got nothing better? Oh, God above. 7:30 a.m. Oh, well. Needs must. Well, okay, I have an announcement to make. If I go to Pride of Longbridge and arrive there at 7:30 a.m, I won't be driving, I will be drinking, and I will be thoroughly and stupendously drunk on the journey throughout my time there, and probably most of the way back as well. I'll be in the car park with a McDonald's, says Matt, regarding our Sunday lunch, pub lunch thing. Sandwiches were always the best way, says Project Nigel, who, when he met up with James of JM on Cars, enjoyed a nice pub lunch because he wasn't paying for it. So apparently sandwiches are not always the best way as long as somebody else is paying. A bit like I paid for lunch today and he kept my change. So that's a valuable insight into the workings of Captain Mustard's mind. Ira Spotty Botty says, I'm on my second ciggy. And did you check your PayPal, Boaty? Have to go now, have a better night than what I'm having. TTFN. I did, Spotty Botty, and thank you very much. And I am going to reply to you. I've got a couple of emails that I need to reply to. And they are on the list, but I've mentioned it before. Thank you to everyone. Should we see if this fridge door closes itself again? Let's see. Fascinating broadcasting here. Oh, it's not going to do it now. Look at that. Ah, so it was the ghosts before. It's not on an even floor. It was the ghosts doing it. Look, that fridge door is not moving. Can you see? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. And that's magic. And that was the worst Paul Daniels impression that you'll hear this century. Oh, Mustard's getting there early to set up, etc. I will pick you up about 6 then. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. What do you think I look like at 6 a.m? to tell myself that I'm going to the airport. I mean, where is Pride of Longbridge? Oh God, it's in Longbridge, isn't it? Yeah, not a place where you'd see an airport. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. On a serious note, have you adjusted the feet on your fridge? No. Sven, it's called Windy Bottom. That's why the fridge closes itself. Sven says, hope I can sometime experience Pride of Longbridge and take a picture of Rosie in front of the old admin building. That would be a dream fulfilled. I hope that happens for you, Sven. And Mustard says, I took loads of egg butties when I met James. Oh, that's the ticket, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to meet one of the most famous car YouTubers, so make absolutely sure that you load up on the fart ammunition. Fart him into submission. Although I unleashed this afternoon when Mustard was in the tea making position, right from the doorway of the lockup of Hope and Glory, I unleashed a long range, deadly, smart bomb. It took a minute or so, but when it eventually reached Mustard, it was dirty warfare, chemical warfare, but it did the trick. It caused him not inconsiderable disquiet, and it was within the warfare rules because I did it outside. My bottom just happened to be pointing inside, so all's fair in. Serious question, Mustard. What time will you be getting back? That's gonna, in all seriousness, that's gonna be the decider, because I think I saw that it goes on until 4 o'clock, and then you'll probably be doing some disorganising. So I would need to be back here at 4 o'clock, and I don't think that's going to happen, is it? So maybe Pride of Longbridge is not for me. What a shame, I was so looking forward to it. Baboon's ass at 6 a.m. What's for supper? Asks GPS. Well, tonight, Matthew, I will be making. What will I be making? Oh, beef. I've got leftover beef from last night's chow mein, and I will be making beef stir fry with some shit in it. Ginger, onion, spring onion, bit of oyster sauce, plenty of white pepper to give it a spicy piquancy. Yeah, so that's supper dealt with. Now then, what else did I want to talk to you about today, now that I've caught up with the comments? Now, we've spoken about the event. If you want to see the details of this event, it is a Facebook group event. So you will need to be a member of the Facebook group in order to see it. I can give you the details, and I can put the details on my own Facebook account. I can put them on YouTube on the community tab, but in order to see the whole thing and be involved in the discussion, you need to be a member of the Facebook group Boaty's World. So just search Facebook for Boaty's World, answer the 3 quite tricky questions that you need to answer in order to be admitted to my inner sanctum, rather. And yeah, then you'll get to see everything, and that's exciting, isn't it? No staff puke curry, then says GPS. Well, staff curry is anything but puke. It's the finest thing you'd ever eat. But no, not tonight. I need to use that beef. I've got plenty of staff curry. My curry freezer is actually stocked to capacity. In fact, my curry freezer is so full that it's overflowed into the main freezer. And I can prove that. Oh, do you reckon the freezer door shuts itself on its own? I can prove that by showing you overflow staff curry in the general freezer. Now let's shut that. Can you, oh shit, can you see that door? Or, oh no, you can't see it. But I wonder if now the freezer door is not going to shut itself. So, maybe it's not now of course the fridge door, you maybe can't see, but in common with most fridge doors, it has things in the fridge door, specifically a Brita water jug, wine, pickled onions, jalapenos. Oh, these are amazing. You need to try these. And this is my last jar. I need to go back. That is an amazing place on the island of Gozo. Can you see that? And these are their capers, and they are fantastic. God, I love a caper in a salad. And these are the best capers that you can get anywhere, and I need to get some more. There is also marmalade, horseradish mustard, nearly empty, English mustard, almost full. There are eggs which are, I think these eggs may be a little past their best. Now let's have a look at the date. Hang on. Oh, I need better light. Let me have a look. Yeah. Best before 12th of May 2020. So, yeah. Might be an idea to actually throw these away. So why I'm putting it back in there, I don't know. But I think eggs look good in a fridge. Even though you shouldn't keep eggs in the fridge. They should be kept room temperature, ambient. But my fridge has got an egg holder. And that means that my OCD tells me that I have to put eggs in my fridge's egg holder. But I don't eat eggs. So I just bought some cheap ones, put them in there, and they'll just stay there forever. It'd be quite amusing if somebody broke in and decided to help themselves to an omelette, and they would almost certainly die of food poisoning. But the point is, maybe that's why the fridge door closes, but the freezer door doesn't. Because the fridge door has weight in it, which will cause it to close itself, whereas the freezer door has no weight at all other than the weight of the door. So there's a lesson in, I don't know, thermodynamics or something. That was a sulphur bomb, says Mustard, talking about my fart. Simon asks, who rinses the toothpaste out after brushing their teeth and who doesn't? What, you mean your mouth? Rinsing your mouth out? Everybody rinses their mouth out, don't they? Or are you not supposed to? I do. And I rinse the toothbrush. Time for me to go, says Cheeseburger. Thanks, Boaty. Toodles. Toodles to you, sir. Oh, God. You need to be a member, so that means I can continue to be a dick, says Underscore, with quite a clever pun there. Because, of course, one's member can be one's little chap or indeed one's dick. Oh, wine. Yes, good shout. Wine. 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 Should be okay. Oh, it's not frozen yet, but it is very well chilled. Let's pop that in the fridge. There we are. Oh, and Sven rinses the toothpaste. Is staff curry made from real staffs, and can you substitute walking sticks if you have no staffs? Oh, apparently you shouldn't rinse the toothpaste out. Oh, okay. Put it in water and see if it floats. Show us the folder again. You could fake plastic eggs. Hashtag just saying. I could, but that wouldn't satisfy my OCD. What are you doing with eggs, says Mustard? Well, I'm doing nothing with them. They've been in there for 3 years and they'll stay there because I don't eat eggs. Bye all, says Jimmy, who's had enough of this bollocks. Thanks for coming, Jimmy. Thank you for the quid. Have you put Boo's service history in the leather folder yet? No, I haven't. I haven't had time and I so want to do it. Just to annoy Simon, I will show you the folder again because I've got an exciting folder update for you. Behold the fold. There it is. Look how empty it is. Oh, apart from, right, Boo has got her V5 in there now, but none of the service history. That's going to take ages. There's a lot of it to put into chronological order and individual Polly Pockets. But the reason the folder is empty is that all of the paperwork for the Honourable HJ Rover, which is now, folder news indeed, Simon, which is now no longer owned by me, is now owned by Pingu Concord. All of the paperwork and 4 keys, and that's 4 keys in addition to the keys that Mustard has already got. Excuse me. Polly Pockets, that's what they're called, but not with a double L, Matt. I would put those eggs in the bin because you do not want to contaminate your fridge because they will be degrading quite a bit. Oh, is that a thing? Oh, okay, well now you've got me worried about that, so. Okay. This is my rubbish bag that I use so I don't have to use the bin because I don't like having rubbish in the bin. It makes it dirty. Right, well. Goodbye, eggs. It's been nice having you for 3 years, but it's time to say goodbye. So I'm going to have to buy some new eggs tomorrow now. And how am I going to do that when I'm £47 over my overdraft limit? Answers on a postcard, please. Oh, I could shoplift them. Of course I could. You see, there's always a solution to every problem if you just think outside the box. Oh, my fridge looks bare now. My egg compartment is empty. Do I need to wash my hands after handling them? And I'll tell you what. we'll put a knot in that. And if you'll excuse me, I'll take these out to the outside bin. And for the sake of completeness, I will wash my hands. I need coffee as well. I've only got 2 pods for tomorrow. I've got coins. I've got coins. I was talking to Mustard about this. Yeah, I've got coin money in my emergency purse. So, yeah, I may have to deploy that tomorrow. So I now need coffee and eggs. Do I need anything else? Don't let me forget. What am I having for lunch tomorrow? Oh! I've got a treat for lunch tomorrow. Look what I made on Sunday night. I'm going to make you jealous. Look at that. Oh, how fabulous is that? Eh? That is Nepali Rajma. Haven't had it for a while. Really looking forward to that. That's tomorrow's lunch, which I'll have with a bit of rice and roti. Right, things in the bin, I've done that. The fridge reminds me of Close Encounters when he opens the door. Never seen that. The folder and system you have for your car history satisfies my OCD immensely, says Sven, who understands these things. And yeah, so I've got a lot of booze history that needs to go in there, but that's going to be, that's going to take a good couple of hours. That's a 2 or 3 hour job, I would imagine, but it will be enormously satisfying. I also need a key ring. Now, I'm also OCD about key rings. Now, this is Boo's main key, and because Boo is effectively the biggest car on the fleet, she's like the grown-up, she gets the grown-up's key ring, which is that one there. Probably worth more than the car. That is an Il Ponte key ring. Italian leather, Italian designer leather. Bought a long time ago when I had money. Now Wetleg also has an Il Ponte keyring, as indeed does Shison. But the spare key, have I just put that in the right place? Yes, I did. They all have their own individual hooks. The spare key should have a mark key ring on it, and that's MARQUE, which means I need a Land Rover key ring. And trying to get an original one of those, God, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. There's a couple on eBay that I'm planning to bid on, except I'm too poor to bid on them at the moment. Well, I'll only bid on one of them, you know. So yeah, well, keep an eye. I'll keep you updated about the keyring situation. Why am I talking about keyrings? That picture on the wall moved while you were outside, Boaty. Probably did. Everything moves in here. The ghosts are buggers. Looks like an effort of a chili con carne. Well, it does contain kidney beans GPS. It's basically a kidney bean and green chili Nepali curry. to which I'll probably, and it's a vegetarian thing, so I'll add chicken because I'd like to make it into proper food. Yes, keyring news indeed. Yes, indeed. Shison's keyring. What about it, Mustard? You want to see it? Shison's keyring is a bit more modern and contemporary. Now, the other two keyrings are classic Il Ponte. This is a more modern UK import version with the words in English instead of Italian. The bridge. So there you go. That one's Shison's. Having OCD is, or some level, is it not a key fob? No, it's key ring. Well, I suppose it's both. It's a fob on a key ring, something like that. It's there are lots of very important decisions you have to make. Now, I spent more than a week deciding when I put the service histories into their folder. Now, obviously they're compartmentalized into MOTs, bills, etc. But which order should they be in? Obviously, they're going to be in chronological order. That goes without saying. But should you start with the newest, going to the oldest? Or should you start with the oldest, going to the newest? Now, it took me more than a week of thought to come up with the correct answer. And the correct answer is that MOTs start with the newest and go to the oldest, right? So when you get a new MOT, it goes on top at the front. And the reason for that is that when you're looking for an MOT, you're going to want the current one. I made this decision before MOTs became electronic, before there was a database. So if you needed your MOT, it was probably because you had to produce it to the police or you needed it to tax the car. So you're going to want to see the latest one first. You're not going to want to go searching through. So that's the order for MOTs. Service history is the opposite. It starts with the oldest going through to the newest. And that's because in my mind, if you're looking at the service history, then you're probably perusing the service history perhaps as a potential buyer, or, you know, to see the history in its entirety. And you're probably going to want to start with the oldest, so you can see the service history in order that it happened. That took me over a week to come up with, because for the first 4 days, my OCD was telling me that the chronological order had to be the same throughout every compartment of the folder. And it took me 4 days to convince myself that that was not so. But, you know, I came out with the correct answer in the end, and I'm happy to share that with you, so that, oh, hang on, I've started a debate on it. Oldest to newest, newest to oldest, oldest to newest, you're both bonkers. Have you, says Pingu. Oh, have you made a product review video of your new bucket yet, Boaty? No, I haven't yet, Pingu, but I will. And I'll do the includes paid promotion thing as well. I haven't deployed the bucket yet. I haven't as yet had chance or opportunity to wash a car, but I will most definitely do a full in-depth review of the bucket and post a completely unedited video of it, just to annoy Simon. who just get annoyed by my lack of editing, alleged lack of editing. I maintain that I edit copiously and carefully. I just edit in such a way so that I manage to make an edited video look as if it hasn't seen an edit suite in its life. And, you know, that's a talent, really. YouTube gold, I agree. It's always good to have a nice keyring, says Sven. I have a branded one for both my British lovelies. Yeah, well, the secondary keyring, well, I have gradations of keyrings because some of my cars have 3 keys. So if it's a premium car, I have 3 Il Ponte keyrings, and they go on what I decide are my 3 premium cars at any one time. The second tier of keyrings are mark keyrings, like this MG keyring for Stigbürt and this Rover keyring for Brian. But there is a third tier. How excited are you to learn about this? Very excited, I imagine. And I'm gathering the evidence for you, darlings. And these are keyrings of places that have personal meanings. So, here, for example, is a keyring of San Sebastian Bay. And it's a picture taken from the top of the Monte Gueldo, which is where my favourite hotel in the world is situated. And this keyring was purchased directly from the tourist trap kiosk outside by the swimming pool of the... No, it wasn't by the swimming pool. It's in the grounds of the Monte Gueldo, and the Hotel Monte Gueldo is, I've forgotten what they call them, but it's like a Spanish mansion house, stately home sort of thing. And it was built for some Spanish royalty at the top of the mountain, overlooking San Sebastian Bay. And he installed like a theme park fun fair for his children and their visitors. And it's still there. And it's got the oldest roller coaster in the world, which is cut into the rock of the cliffs and travels through the hotel itself. It's called the Montana Suite. Google it. It's amazing. I've got a video of it somewhere. It's honestly, it is. I'll put pictures on the Facebook group. It's amazing. And the other ride is like a boat ride, again, that's carved into the mountain itself and travels around the edge of the mountain on a little, like a log flume channel, but it's cut into the mountain itself. And it's got like a paddle steamer thing at the bit where you get onto the boats. And that creates a tide which carries the boats around. And again, it goes through the stately home itself, like the underground. But people were shorter. These things were built in the 1800s, and people were shorter. So if you're my height, then every time you go into the rock to go inside the hotel itself, you have to duck. Otherwise, as I did the first time, you get a right fucking smack on the head from a Spanish cliff. And here's another example. This is one of my Llandudno keyrings from the 1970s, but, and here's a twist, I bought and Llandudno is one of my favourite places, and I bought them all from a keyring collector on the island of Gozo, believe it or not. So these keyrings have a connection to 2 of my favourite places, the island of Gozo and Llandudno, and I have more than one of them in different colours, so they're then colour coded to the cars. So this one being blue is Stigbürt's spare key, because Stigbürt has got a blue theme with the blue seats and whatnot. So there you are. Keyrings are very involved things, but incredibly interesting, as you have now found out. Where did this keyring come from? It needs to go back on the right hook. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep tonight. Ah, interesting. Bad Books always leaves the old MOT in his UNOS, which is Japanese import version of the Master MX-5, with a luminous post-it note saying kilometres, because the UNOS is in kilometres, not miles, and it buggers up the MOT history if they put the wrong thing. Oh. Have you seen the house in Cromford with a cable car made into a kid's playhouse? It's just about beyond the pond. Yeah, and I almost bought one myself. When they changed the gondolas at the Heights of Abraham cable cars in Matlock Bath, they sold off all of the old gondolas, and I was within that of buying one. But there are a few dotted about in gardens around the area. Now, in a way, obviously, I wish I had bought one. But, you know, I suppose, given that I kind of moved around a bit for a while, it would have been a bit of a schlep to carry in between houses, wouldn't it? But, yeah, amazing thing to buy. There's one in Stony Middleton, there's the one in Cromford, there's one in Matlock Bath, and I'm sure there are quite a few in other places as well. Because, yeah, when they replaced the gondolas in whenever it was, yeah, the old ones were just sold. Impressive keyring collection. The hooks are one above the other, so how do you know which is the right one? Well, of course, Matt has been here, so Matt will have... I didn't show you my keys, did you? Did you go snooping, Matt? Did you? Oh, man, yeah, well, they're spread across two different places, one of which you would have seen automatically because we went outside in the back, didn't we? The other one you wouldn't see unless you went looking for it. So I'm guessing that either you saw one set but not the other, or you went and... see, this is why I'm the unpaid intern. I only knew about the Cromford cable car. Oh, well, there you are. How do I know which one is the right hook? I just know. I'm not going to tell you how I arrived at which hook is the correct one, because then I'm going to sound so weird that even I wouldn't be comfortable with myself. But there is method in my madness, albeit not much method and mostly madness. Mustard says, I want us to go to Llandudno, which he spelt with an F. Yeah, I want to as well. It would be great. So let's just do it one day. I thought about suggesting it, right? And this is why I didn't, quite honestly. I love Llandudno. I didn't go last year. The last time I went was with Chinese Madam. It's one of my favourite places in the world. I desperately want to get there as soon as possible. If you've never been, you should go. I adore the Great Orme tramway, the tramway that goes, the UK's only cable-hauled tramway, and that goes from the station in Mostyn Street towards the top of the town, and it goes right up to the top of the mountain, right up to the top of the Great Orme. And it's amazing. It goes up the tiny little narrow streets, out onto the open mountainside, and then at halfway there's a station called Halfway, and you have to swap trams there and swap tracks. So you get off one and you go onto the other for the top half, which goes right up to the top of the Great Orme, where the views are simply stunning. You can also get up the Great Orme by walking, or you can drive up. You can drive up through the streets, and then you've got a choice of coming down. You can come down via the coast road, which is one way. You can only go down, you can't go up, and it's a toll road. Or you can go back down the same way that you came up. And the other way is by cable car. And they are the UK's highest, I think longest, and certainly scariest cable cars. They don't operate when it's windy because they're terrifying and dangerous. And you can't pay by card, it's cash only. But yeah, I'd love to go with you, Mustard, and I would go any Monday that you care to name. And the only reason I haven't really pushed it with you is that would you get into trouble with your wife and kids for doing a thing like that with me and not with them? Because that kind of should be a family day out, shouldn't it? Unless we could come up with a cunning reason why you and I needed to go there. A reason so cunning that it would satisfy your good lady and your girls. But I'd love to do that. A boys' trip to Llandudno. That would be awesome. I mean, it's a lovely drive along the A55 coast road. Yeah, we could drive to the top of the Great Orme, park up there, get the tram down into town, or we could just drive up to the top of the Great Orme, make lunch on the stove, make a video, and then piss off back home. But yeah, I'm up for that anytime you are. It's it's on my list. It's on my potential list of Mondays, the North Wales coast. I thought I might spend a Monday evening somewhere on the North Wales coast in case anybody was about and fancied an evening out, and just for my own enjoyment. So I love it. I was going to do Llandudno, spend the day in Llandudno, and then the hotels are quite expensive in Llandudno, so I'd probably get a Rhyl and stay on the seafront in Rhyl for old time's sake, and yeah, meet up with the drink if anybody fancied coming out for if they weren't too far away and fancied a summer evening by the seaside. Excuse me. Oh, your wife loves Llandudno, so you would get in trouble for going without her then, wouldn't you? The Great Orme is brilliant. Well, maybe we could go in the school holidays, and you could go as a family, I could go on my own, and we could meet up, or go in convoy or whatever, and that way I would enjoy it with company, and you wouldn't get in trouble for not taking your wife and kids. Or we could just sneakily go ourselves anyway and say it was setting up your family thing, doing some advanced planning. I would have to get paid for it. Okay. You could scatter Boaty's ashes at the Great Orme, Mustard. No, my ashes will be scattered on the Penrhw, if anybody can be asked to do it. That's our family mountain in South Wales, which we used to own, my family used to own it, and that's where we all end up. If we'd have had time, I would have shown Mustard on the way to Newport, but it wouldn't have been fair. It was a long enough day for him as it was. We didn't have time for detours. but I will be doing it on my own, and I will obviously be making a video so you can all share it with me, and that'll be happening before too long. I'll need to take a Monday off from PMT or whatever he's calling it now, and do the South Wales thing, and maybe turn it into the plan is to stay overnight with Mike, Classic Wheels Wales. He's offered to put me up at his place and take me out for a slap-up great meal, which would be fun, and I absolutely plan to do that. Mike is awesome, and he's one of those people, like Mustard. He's one of those people that's so much fun when he's sober that you think it would be awesome getting drunk with this guy. It would be absolutely awesome. Mustard's the same. It's still on our bucket list to get well and truly pissed together. Simon says, what cars event type stuff do you like? Are there any racing events you'd attend? Yeah. Gosh, car events type stuff. Well, I used to love going to racing events because my mate Dave Pruitt and his wife, the lovely Val, or as I call her, Auntie Val, Dave owned a racing team. Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time in various paddocks. He won Le Mans. His car won Le Mans in class. There was a period where I spent a lot of time, and being in the pits and the paddocks for a big race event is just awesome. There's nothing like it. So I love that sort of thing. But would I go and stay on some poxy camping site to watch them go roaring past from 100 yards away? Nah, you get a better view on telly. Unless you're actually part of it, then it's no fun. Clarkson agrees. Clarkson went to Le Mans as a guest of Noel Edmonds, when Noel Edmonds entered a racing team the same year that Dave, one of the years that Dave's team was in there, and they didn't finish a single car. Not one, but Clarkson had a blast. What about a convoy of rovers all playing Convoy on the gramophones? Go to the ski resort in Llandudno and try the toboggan. It would be a good video. Yeah, I've never been there. It's been there for ages. The dry ski slope has certainly been there for years and years and years. There's a whole thing now, isn't there, in the quarry with the world's longest and fastest zip line. That looks incredible. The toboggan would be awesome. It's bloody expensive, but maybe we could get them to sponsor us. Yeah, Mustard and Boaty do the world's fastest zip line. Christ almighty, at my age I'd shit myself, which would be amusing for everybody else, not for me. I fancy a bowl of crunchy nut cornflakes. Liz says good night. Simon says you're very close to the action at Cadwell. See if there's out you fancy and we can make a day of it. Yeah, I'd be up for that. What time? Christ, it's 1 o'clock. No wonder people are buggering off. Oh, Matt. Should we say good night? It's 1 o'clock. That's most awfully late. There were other things I planned to talk about and haven't, and now won't. But we can save those for another time, can't we? I was going to tell you about today and driving Wetleg and the Snake Pass and all sorts of things, but hey ho. And set up teasers for Thursday. Thursday night, folks, season 2, Mustard and Boaty doing things. Will we be more successfully productive in this season? Will we actually do something? Which we didn't completely do something last year, did we? We were supposed to be doing cars, by which we meant buying cars, doing them up and selling them. And we didn't quite get that far. We bought one and decided to keep it. So that didn't quite work entirely well. Noel Edmonds, you love that bloke. You know perfectly well I hate him, Mustard, because I went to a helicopter show with my then girlfriend, who was a helicopter pilot, and he tried to nick her from right under my nose, took her up in his chopper, and then, you know, slapped it on her. And I thought that was very disrespectful from the bloody tiny little twat. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, right. Hang on. You've got No, Matt. Oh, no, that's GPS. No, I'm not reading that GPS either. God above. She probably preferred his chopper to mine. No, she didn't, because she spurned his advances. She spurned them, and she quite rightly came home with me. I was a lot better looking in those days, and God, yeah, she was nice. I can't remember her name, not for the life of me. She was a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan, though. I remember that much, and she had lovely breasts. But there we are. Right, let's say good night. There's 12 of you left. Well done for hanging out until 1 a.m. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking at you, as always. Have a fabulous day tomorrow. And what we got tomorrow night? We've got 8:30. You've got Simon. At 10 o'clock, you've possibly got Mustard. I don't know if he's decided yet. Hit the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Get it whacked. And then depending on what time Mustard finishes and what mood I'm in and how tired I am, you might get a little bit of me just to ruin the end of your night. We'll see. We will see. But tonight's been fabulous. I've loved it. Thank you so much for being here. And if I can sort the doings, I will play you out. Get ready. Here we go. Okay guys, thank you again, much love to you all. You take care of yourselves, stay safe and stay warm, and have a fabulous Tuesday. And I will see you tomorrow night. If not on my own live stream, then most definitely I'll be popping onto Mustard's. And I would pop onto Simon's, but I'll be at work, so I can't. But yeah, expect me to pop up on Mustard's at somewhere around there between 10:30 and 11, and you might get me for a bit afterwards. though God knows what you've done to deserve that. All right, darlings, good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.